What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 6 of the ScreenTeam podcast. My name is Gus,
This is Alex.
This is Sal.
and we are the ScreenTeam. Anyways, so today we are going to be talking about the two Jumanji movies featuring The Rock, Kevin Hart, Jack Black, and I think her name's Karen Gillian.
The
Yeah.
Avengers, right?
She's
I was gonna talk
Nebula,
about-
yeah.
she's Nebula.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and start talking about these two movies.
Just
Both of them or just one that's
do them both. and
Yeah,
maybe
I
that
think
kinda
it's.
connect.
I think we've kind of gotten to this point where it's just easier for us to talk about both at the same time, and then we'll rate them separately.
It is one long story. I guess you could.
It's a
put this as-
continuation,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's one. Yeah, so it'll be
Yeah.
easier to.
So, Jumanji 1 takes place after the original Jumanji, kind of,
Yeah.
because the board game was found in like the beach, right?
Right.
And they go ahead and take it, and it ends up turning into a video game
Magically,
console,
yep.
so that way the kid in the house could play it,
Yeah.
and he gets trapped in the game for
20 years.
Do you know
for a
that's
pretty
weird?
long time.
Well, okay, so he didn't think he was 20 years.
He had no idea. He had no
idea.
perception of the time. that he
Right,
was in
right. So why does time travel differently? Because he thought he was there for.
20
Think
years.
he said. Yeah, I think he guessed like 2 months.
Yeah, he said a few months. Yeah.
He said a few months, right?
Yeah.
And 20 years, that's a big difference. That's like 10 times multiplier, right?
Yeah.
So let's say 10, like time is traveling like 10 times faster in the video game world. Which I imagine, like the people there that were there for like a day or two, like it should have been like 2 weeks past or something when they came
Yeah.
out. I don't know.
Yeah,
Does that make
yeah.
sense?
That's probably just like a plot hole.
I don't
honestly.
understand why he thought he was only there for a few months. That doesn't make sense to me at
Yeah,
all.
honestly, I think there's just like some parts of it that are just like, yeah,
You
don't
just
even
gotta get past
yeah,
it,
just
yeah.
don't even think about it.
It's
Like
not- yeah.
we're gonna mention this once, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah, that's one
if
of
you
them.
don't accept it, then oh well.
Or they
Yeah.
should have just had.
Because
They should have just had him know he's been there for 20 years. Like, I've been
Yeah.
for 20 years. You know, like
Yeah.
it would have made it a little more darker, but it would have been pretty
Yeah.
cool out too. You know, like he was
Yeah.
been there for 20 years.
Yeah.
I
so-
also didn't like.
well, but then
Well, we'll see.
also like by the end of the movie, like the movie, they like obviously save him from the game and everything,
Mm-hmm.
and he ends up living his entire life, and
didn't like that. Yeah.
he's back
Yeah,
with his family and everything. So
There was a lot of issues with that character, Alex. Like the fact that he went back, like so, okay, now this thing like has like a time traveling kind of thing to it because it changed that whole house where he used to live. It got all
yeah, it looked like
got all pretty, and his family was
Well,
there. So
actually-
it's like, okay, it changed everything since from the moment they came out. It was all different. So I don't know, it was weird. It's like they added more elements to it that maybe they shouldn't have added. I would have liked to have seen him come back and then maybe be reunited with his dad and be like, oh my God, you've been missing for that long. And him staying the same age. Like I was waiting for all
Yes,
that. It just didn't
yeah.
happen.
So people, I guess we kind of were jumping, but if people don't know what we're talking about, in the beginning, a kid finds a game, he gets stuck, and then it forwards like 20 years later, and then these new kids play the game,
and
and
they find him.
and they find him,
and they
right?
rescue him.
And they rescue him, and when everybody goes back, he goes back to his time when he first got trapped in there
Yeah.
in the 80s or
so he didn't lose
80s
any time,
or
yeah.
90s.
It was the
No,
80s.
90s. Cause remember we thought it was 96.
No, it was-
Um,
I thought it was 80s.
No, dude, it was 90s.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
It was
early
90s.
90s. I don't
Yeah.
know.
It was, and so I had a problem with that too at the end because if he went back to his time into that place, that video game still would have been there. He still would have had it. It never would have ended up in the school
Yeah.
basement,
That's what I'm
and
saying,
those
it
new
just-
kids never would have
Yeah.
gone to Jumanji.
It changes his.
It changes the whole
thing, yeah,
timeline.
yeah,
It
yeah.
changes the whole
Yeah.
timeline where it wouldn't have been possible anymore.
See, that's the thing with just time travel in movies in general. There's
Yeah.
always like some issues with
Absolutely,
it.
yeah.
Like, I think this is especially this movie is not one you're supposed to take too seriously
Yeah.
as far as all that stuff
Yeah.
goes. So like, yeah, I get where you guys
Every
are coming
movie's
from.
serious. That's every movie.
Nah, it definitely jokes about itself a lot throughout the movie too.
Yeah.
But yeah, like anyways, I remember when this movie was announced, and I honestly was a little bit upset because
Really?
I love the original Jumanji, and I was just like, oh god, they're gonna do a new one. And then I heard that it was gonna be like a video game or something like that. I was like, what are they? Like what? Like what doesn't make sense? Like why would you do that? And then I saw well, I didn't see it in theaters. I had wanted to because I saw one of the trailers and I was like, it looks kind of funny, and I was kind of hearing good things about it at the time too. So I was like, why not, you know? But I never ended up watching it until it came out on like satellite, like TV, like
TV, sure.
yeah. So I watched it then, and I was like, wow, this is actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Kevin Hart for the most part, especially when he's not the lead role, because when he is the lead role, I think he's not that great of an actor, and it kind of just But Jack Black, I think he's hilarious.
Dude, Jack Black was my favorite part. After watching both movies,
Yeah,
he was my favorite part. He was really good at playing the black guy, the two girls separately. So good. I was like, oh, this guy this is funny.
Yeah, and
good character.
Yeah, and then The Rock.
Rock's The Rock. He's a badass.
Yeah, he's just a buff guy, main character.
Yeah, there's a lot of characters. There was the biggest issue with me about the second movie was there's too many characters.
Too many?
There's 7 of them. They had all the original 5 from the first one, and they added a horse and another girl, the Asian girl. Well, it was like, dude, there's too many characters.
In the second one, so in the first one they all come back. They say they all go back. In the second one they add 2 new characters. Really,
that's what I said.
Right,
Exactly
but you didn't say who. The grandpa, right? You didn't say the grandpa.
Well, no, I'm talking about the characters in the video game.
But those aren't the characters. The characters are the grandpa and his older friend.
Yeah.
Those are the actual 2 new characters.
Well, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
I mean, we were just talking about Jack Black and The Rock, so I guess that's why I said like the video game.
yeah,
characters. But yeah,
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter, you guys. Okay, yeah. So the 2 new characters in the movie, like that are main characters, are Danny DeVito and Donald Glover. So Danny DeVito's Alex. Is his name? What is his name?
Danny DeVito.
No, the main character.
What's his name?
It's
Something with the S, right? I can't remember. Anyways, the kid from Hereditary. Yeah, he's Danny DeVito's his grandpa.
Yeah.
And then Donald Glover's character is his old best friend. They used to work together. They have drama falling out type of thing. So the main character,
Alex Wolf or Spencer.
Alex
is his actor name.
Yeah.
Spencer.
Yeah, so Spencer is like dealing with some personal issues, and for whatever reason he thinks, hey, if I go back into the game, I'll be happy again.
Yeah.
Well, because
he wanted to feel brave.
I didn't have a problem with that, honestly.
No, I'm not saying it's like a problem, but like it is kind of weird, like to think like you almost died in there and you like
you want to go back in there
by yourself.
I mean, it worked.
It worked, yeah.
Yeah. The time he came out
Spencer in the first movie was The Rock. Fridge was Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
Martha was Ruby Roundhouse, and then I don't remember the girl's name that plays. That's Jack Black's character.
Blonde girl.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, Bethany. Yeah.
Yeah, she was Jack Black's character.
Yeah, and then the guy that was stuck in there was played by Nick Jonas, and all those characters come back, but they're not played in the game by the same people anymore.
That they were played in the first movie. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I like that.
So it switches everything up. So like it kind of adds like a new element to it. So it's like not the same thing.
Actually,
you didn't like that.
I didn't like The Rock playing Danny DeVito.
Being played by Danny DeVito.
Well, Danny DeVito is really just himself, right? When in the beginning,
Yeah.
so it was essentially just The Rock playing Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean,
It was weird.
I don't think The Rock is a good enough actor to do that. So it just felt weird.
Yeah.
And then I actually thought Kevin Hart was actually really good as being his friend, the other old guy.
Old slow talking.
Yeah, Danny Glover.
Guy. That was
Danny
fun.
Glover.
Oh, I've been saying Donald.
Yeah.
Donald is childish Gambino.
Yeah.
But he's been really good. But my problem with that was like it just wasn't as funny though. It was funny at first, but then it just like it got a little repetitive.
It got annoying.
Yeah, it got a little annoying
You
too. Like he
wanted
just was he had to like really like
Same
slow.
jokes.
Well, yeah. So the whole
Percent
thing
to him.
was like he just talks really slow and like.
Yeah.
Right.
And obviously they both don't understand video games, so it's like they're like.
But
They're
I
trying
think
to
they would have understood it.
Yeah.
They overdid that
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
They overdid it. They made him
real
too dumb.
Yeah, they made him real
They
dumb.
made him real
Yeah.
dumb and just it just didn't work for me honestly.
I thought it was funny at first, especially Kevin Hart. Like you said, The Rock isn't a good enough actor to be playing like another character. Like he's the same character in most of his movies. So like, you know,
I mean, maybe it was just weird because
and
we've
then
never
the
seen him do that.
well, not only
I
that,
don't
but
know
the
if it was
whole
that
like
bad.
accent thing that he
Yeah,
was
yeah,
doing
yeah.
was really bad. It was
Yeah.
cringy. Like I was like, please stop. Just
Yeah.
like honestly, I could have been fine with you just acting
Yeah.
like
Not doing
him,
the
like
accent,
yeah, like easily annoyed by everything and not understanding everything. That would have been fine. But like adding that little accent was just like, okay,
Yeah.
all right, we get it, you guys. Like,
Yeah.
I heard it here and there, like, oh, I kind of understood what he was trying to do. Like, oh, it kind of did feel like Danny DeVito a little bit here and there, but half the time, it only worked half the time. Like you said, the other half it was just cringy,
yeah,
and
Yeah.
it wasn't. It stopped being funny after it started. Just like Alex was saying, it's just starting a little annoying.
yeah. And I did like that they kind of tried to not use the same jokes, even though they did a little bit.
I from the first one to the second one.
Yeah.
With the smolder. With
Yeah, the
look.
smolder thing, like, yeah, it was funny because he wasn't good at it. Like
Yeah.
like for whatever reason, it was one of his skills, but he would always do it
Yeah,
at the wrong time.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just kind of funny.
Or the
and-
cake.
Yeah, the cake
The
thing was pretty
cake, yeah.
funny, and yeah, there was just a lot of like good, funny moments. I thought it was a solid movie. The action was pretty cool. I really actually liked the like when they're the second stage when they're trying to get through like I forgot what they're called. They're not bamboos.
The monkeys,
but the
yeah.
other
Oh,
ones,
yeah.
mandrills.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it's mandrills.
It's Rakishi from Lion King.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
monkey
So
from Lion King.
they're like trying to get through this like obstacle course essentially with these moving
I actually
bridges
like
and
that
everything.
scene too.
I thought it was really cool, and
That
like
very
I
cool
like
scene.
how they pulled it off. And yeah, and I thought having the villain be the guy from
The Hound.
Game of the Hound from Game of Thrones
Dude,
was
is
pretty
he really
funny.
that big? Like when he was standing next to the Rock?
He's probably standing on something.
You was he? I don't
Uh,
know.
Why?
Because he's supposed to be pretty big in Game
You
of
could be
Thrones.
that big.
I mean, the
People
Rock
are bigger
is
than The
pretty
Rock.
tall,
The
too,
Rock
right?
is like 6'4" or something.
So
like
yeah,
that.
he has to be like 6'8".
Yeah.
That-
Could be, why not?
Yeah.
He could be. I don't know.
I don't know. I
That'd be
mean, it's
surprising.
possible.
Is
but
The Rock 6'4"?
Yeah.
He's supposed to be really tall, like 6 feet
Yeah.
or something.
But anyway, so
Doesn't
the my favorite part, like the first movie had really good jokes. I thought it was really funny, and that's where the second one lacked. It was the jokes just weren't as funny to me, but the second one had way bigger action scenes that were really cool, and the first one lacked that. The first one I didn't have that big. I don't even remember most of the action scenes, most of the things they had to do, because they weren't that big. But the second one was like they went big. On
Yeah.
it.
But the
The
second one,
ostrich.
but the second one felt repetitive to the first one though.
because they used some of the same jokes.
The
so
second
it's like-
one was the same thing as the first one, but just scrambled here, there. Like people playing different characters,
yeah.
the mission a little different, but essentially it was the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
But I didn't really have a problem with that because the whole point of like the Jumanji game was supposed to be that it was supposed to be the same thing each time you played it, right? But obviously like it got like switched up because there was like it was all glitched out and whatever.
Well, in the original
So-
was no.
It was
It was
just
a
It was
board
getting to the
game.
center. Yeah.
yeah.
Getting to.
And if you landed on a certain square, then
Yeah.
something would happen.
You would. How did Robin Williams get sucked in? He landed on a certain square, right?
No, he rolled a certain dice.
Or he rolled a certain
no,
thing, or I don't
Did he
know.
roll something specific? Wasn't supposed
It might
to,
have been like
or maybe landed in a certain square.
I think he landed on a specific spot, but
I like how they brought up Robin Williams' character in the first one.
Alan Parrish.
Yeah. What's his name?
That's his character name.
Alan.
I think it's Alan
Yeah,
Parrish.
yeah, yeah.
The
He's
Parrish
the one
family.
that did the treehouse,
Alan.
right?
Yeah.
That Alex found.
I don't
Yeah.
understand how they had a margarita mixer in that jungle world. I thought
he
he
bought
was
it.
there for because he was there for 20 years.
Yeah.
That maybe he made like he had like so much time to make like real world stuff. But even then, that would take forever to make a margarita mixer in like
You
a
would-
jungle.
yeah.
You know how long would
Yeah.
that take you?
You wouldn't
I
be able to do it in
mean,
20
You wouldn't be able
years.
to do it in 20 years. You wouldn't be able to do it.
Mm.
No, you wouldn't.
Mhm.
And what do you mean he
Um,
bought it?
He bought it from the stores, from the shops down at the shops.
But the world didn't seem like it was.
I mean, they had motorcycles.
Well,
and
yeah,
had-
they did have like some modern technology
Guns.
in it, but that is kind of weird
Yeah,
too
I guess,
because
yeah.
I mean, I guess in the 80s they might have had margarita.
Oh,
I
because
don't
it's the
know.
80s.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, they,
I don't know.
I would.
It doesn't.
Well,
I
he needed
didn't.
an outlet too.
I didn't really.
He needed power
Yeah.
to power that.
I see. Those are like the little things that I didn't really think about because I didn't like. Yeah, yeah.
Also, like the thing they were against, like pretty much in both movies too, was their lives. They had 3 lives.
Yeah.
I mean,
They
it's
lost them
kind
pretty
of,
quick in this one too.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
everyone.
it's kind of implied that once they lose all of them, that they die.
But we
But we don't know that.
Yeah.
And it kind of bugged me too.
I
Like,
was kind of waiting. Like, what does happen after you die? After you lose all your lives? Like, do
Yeah.
you just restart? The
maybe
game?
you just restart the game.
From
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
beginning?
I thought. Oh, his name was Milo, I think.
Who's Milo?
Danny Glover.
Oh yeah, I think it was.
So
Milo.
okay, so spoiler alert. I mean, obviously you're watching this, so you're already this far in. He was dying, so
Yeah.
I for sure thought he was gonna just like sacrifice himself for somebody at one point
They should have done that.
because and then see what happens from there.
Oh, the life?
Yeah,
And then he
'cause
would
he
have
only
just
had
been
one
stuck in
life.
there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he only had one life, but they end up saving the day because he's this horse character now at this point, and he
Yeah.
could fly because
Mhm.
he's pretty much a Pegasus
I
or
don't know why he
whatever.
decided to stay as a horse. That's
and
weird.
and then
Yeah.
he decides to stay inside the game because somebody has to protect it. I guess
Uh-huh.
I don't know, but
I
Yeah.
found that weird. I find that
That-
very Black Mirror-ish. Like,
yeah, that
now
didn't-
he's in that
Yeah.
horse body. Imagine being in a horse body. You can't talk like that'd be so frustrating. But your mind's in there.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that sounds like
Yeah,
horrible.
yeah,
And he's there.
yeah.
It doesn't feel like. It feels like. I feel like it's implied that he was there forever now.
Yeah.
Right?
Except
Like-
the movie ends with the
Everything
ostriches
coming
coming out of the game. So
Oh, well, before that.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you would
At
think
that time you
'cause
didn't know.
the
Yeah.
the characters aren't real. They don't.
Mm.
They're not.
Yeah.
They don't die. They're just made up, I guess. I feel like it was assumed he would be there forever.
Yeah.
That's kind of a. It feels like hell.
Yeah.
That's not right now. I'd rather just go home and die than stay a horse forever.
Well, I mean, so
That's some
he
Black Mirror
he did
stuff.
only technically have one life at that point, so I guess he could have just like
Died.
died somehow.
If
But the
he
game
dies.
ended
Yeah.
though, so maybe he gets all his lives back.
Yeah, I don't
And
know.
what if someone breaks the game on the outside world? So did they have to keep the game safe now
I mean,
because
it's a
he's in
magical
there?
game. It went from a game board into a video console overnight.
Yeah.
So I'm
It
pretty
could probably
sure.
fix itself.
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
I never thought it could actually break it.
Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, so the movie well, there's like kind of post. It wasn't really post credit, was it?
That was post credit.
Yeah, so it's like mid credit scene, I guess. And then they're eating dinner
Well,
at
before
like
that,
the
before
diner.
that, another thing I know we're gonna go to that slide. So we're going to the end, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but well, before that, because
Okay.
at the very end. I also really liked really the scenes with Betty Roundhouse,
Ruby Roundhouse.
Ruby Roundhouse,
Yeah.
her like man killer scenes,
Oh yeah.
when she kind of like
I really,
flirts with
thought,
them?
I really thought you were gonna say something that related to Gus's point.
no, well,
Try to-
no, because I
finish
feel
this
like
point.
I feel like we're ending, and I have a lot more to.
No, we
No,
still
no,
got a
no,
lot
no.
to say.
And I have a lot to say after that, related to that, and it kind of feels more like towards the end. But
Okay,
Okay.
so
Yeah,
Ruby
it works
Roundhouse
fine.
character.
Yeah.
You
yeah,
really liked her scenes.
I really liked her scenes. I thought she was a total badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, obviously, like I realized she was Nebula from
Yeah.
but I never thought she was that pretty. Like, oh my gosh, she's actually
Dude,
really pretty.
I didn't know it was Nebula until Leslie got it from her voice in the first movie. She whispered it. She like talked weird, and she's like, "Oh shit, is that Nebula?" And then I remember, like, "Oh yeah, I remember seeing her
Yeah.
get cast for this movie. Yeah, this Nebula."
Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, she's really pretty. Yeah,
she's
you're
really
right.
pretty, and like
She,
she has a really
she's
nice
fit.
body.
Yeah, she's
She's
fit.
a really nice body. Oh my
Yeah, it was cool seeing her kick ass. That was
And-
fun.
Yeah.
And her scenes are really cool. She like her action scenes are actually really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially in the second movie.
One, yeah, which
I,
is-
I was watching that second scene, and like the choreography was really cool with
Yeah.
her.
Mm.
I'm like, damn, like I was honestly thinking about the Matrix. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I hope.
I thought about Matrix during the
I
second
was
movie.
like, dude,
Yeah.
I just want the Matrix. I'm sorry, we're getting a little off topic, but I would just want the Matrix to be like
That
very
guy.
well choreographed,
Who
like
have-
that.
They announced everyone who's gonna be in it. I know they announced the main character already.
They annou-
but-
they announced
Well,
the-
Neo might be the main character. I mean, Keanu Reeves, maybe. Did
Is-
they say he's the main character?
Yeah,
I know
I'm pretty sure.
I thought the guy that they announced was the main character. and
the
it
guy from
wasn't.
Mindhunter.
I don't know. Maybe.
The what black guy?
Yeah, he's from what show was he on?
Westworld. That g-
No,
Wait,
The Get Down, I think, from Netflix. It was like a Netflix show.
I'm talking
I
about
don't
someone else. I'm talking about
Yeah,
a white guy
well,
from
it doesn't
Mindhunter.
matter.
I thought of the Matrix during this movie because they're while watching Jumanji. Because it's kind of like the Matrix. They're
In
they're
a way, they
putting
go
themselves in a
into
digital
virtual-
world,
Yeah.
and they have all these different powers.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
So this is
honestly,
like
that too.
I was almost watching a funny version of the Matrix.
Yeah.
Right.
So it felt like.
I think that's why I also like this movie a lot too, because I do like video games and stuff like
Uh-huh.
that. So like them having like their like skills and weaknesses and stuff like that,
Uh-huh.
and then like, you know, there's just being like this cast of characters that are brought together and just have to like go from point A to point B, and get
Yeah.
this thing done. I thought it was cool. Just like, I mean, it doesn't have to be like this over complex story, and I think they knew that because the characters that they had were funny enough to carry the movie through a pretty basic plot. I mean, they just
Yeah.
have to go get a jewel and then say Jumanji
Yeah.
in both movies.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, it wasn't very complicated, but it was good enough.
I think
it was fun enough to where I was enjoying it.
It was fun. I think it mostly relied on the characters playing other people.
yeah,
That's what the
yeah.
I think
This is a
movie
character.
relied on.
Yeah, this is a character-driven movie, not a plot-driven movie
So-
for sure. But what else?
To the-
Oh yeah, so
the ending.
as far as Ruby Roundhouse, so yeah, she was really cool. She did a lot of cool stuff. I like that they put a bigger focus on her in this movie. I feel like
The second one?
because she was more of she knew who she was playing, like she was comfortable being that character, so
Uh-huh.
she
Second-
like was able to like, you know,
do more
like-
stuff
kick
with her
ass.
character.
yeah, she was like the leader of the group this time,
Mm.
and yeah, and then she like
Yeah, she really was. You're right, because Spencer wasn't really there the first
Yeah.
half, or The
Yeah.
Rock. Yeah,
yeah
she was kind of like the leader. Yeah, you're right.
The first
yeah, and yeah, she just kicked ass and she was cool. And the scene where her and Fridge switch bodies,
Yeah,
I thought that was funny because Fridge like obviously is like this athlete,
Yeah.
so like once he gets in her body, he's like
Yeah,
using it to like a completely different potential. I feel
Yeah.
like, and then he he messes up and stuff.
He
It was
switches
funny.
back,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was just cool.
Yeah, I don't know about the fruit. Like I thought the fruit. Leslie
That
was
was weird.
we were talking about this.
I
I
like
thought they
that.
were gonna use that. I thought they were gonna use it to beat, like eat it. Like I thought
So
someone was
you
gonna
need
eat it,
to-
get like superpowers. Leslie thought they were gonna use that to switch bodies.
I thought
but then
that's what it was
they
gonna be
ended up
for.
using like the leg thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
just
weird.
a weakness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just
And
like
he
a
just like
kryptonite.
he just threw it on him. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
it wasn't even on him.
Yeah, it was just
he
on
was
the
had
shelf.
clothes.
Maybe it was
So-
kryptonite. Maybe it was kryptonite. Like if it's near
Yeah.
him, you know.
I
it
mean, it's a
gets,
video game again, but that's
yeah, it was weird. The fruit thing was weird.
Yeah.
I feel like it was almost unnecessary. Like really, like it's just a weakness, a fruit. Like I don't know.
I mean, yeah. I mean, cake is somebody's weakness, and
Yeah.
But that was meant to be funny, and it was funny because
well,
people
yeah.
say like, "Oh, cake is my weakness." Like
No,
you
no,
took
no,
it like
yeah,
that
yeah.
the first time,
Oh,
like you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I
Okay.
thought. Like, oh, they were just being funny. Like that's not really a weakness. Like
No,
he
and
just
it's
likes
Kev-
cake a lot.
And it's
Yeah.
Kevin Hart.
But
too,
it's
man.
but it's his actual weakness. Like he
Yeah.
blew up when he.
Yeah.
So that's why it was funny. But this wasn't funny. I feel like it had no point to it. Like there's no point of this
Yeah.
fruit thing that they had to grab. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, back to the ending.
Oh yeah. So movie ends with them leaving the diner and
Second movie.
second movie, yeah. And ostriches are running through the streets.
Yeah.
In the
So
real world.
yeah, in the real world. So they're going back to the original movie's formula, I guess,
Yeah.
of the game coming to life now.
Yeah,
So I'm excited,
that's cool.
but I'm kind of worried because either one,
Different.
all the characters from the game are coming out as well, and they're just gonna be their
Maybe they'll just be their real character.
yeah, like how the characters are intended
Yeah.
to be,
yeah.
and then they're gonna have them in the like interacting with them too. But then like that gets to the point where that's 8 characters,
Yeah.
or I guess maybe
Well,
9.
that's if there's another
Oh.
movie. Just
Four
because they have
It's
that.
14 characters.
I'm sure. Yeah, well, 14.
Because there's 7. There's the original 5 from the first one, and then they added a horse and the
Well,
Asian girl.
Well, I
The
don't
horse
know,
might
that-
not come back.
Yeah, the horse might not come back.
They don't
the
have to
girl
include people.
doesn't have to come back.
The
either.
grandpa doesn't. I don't think so either.
Yeah. So
The grandpa's done.
yeah, so let's just assume it's those
5.
like 4 and 4, like the
Yeah,
4
4 and 4.
from the game, like the original.
The older guy, I don't
Original
think so
movie.
either.
There's
Nick,
5 from the game.
Yeah, I don't think Nick Jonas has to come out.
Yeah.
either. I don't
Let's
think he
just-
has to,
Yeah.
because his dad character, he's the dad already. Like
yeah,
he doesn't have. I'm not saying he won't. I'm saying
it doesn't like
like
it's not
everyone's gonna
necessary.
be fine if he doesn't come out. Like
Yeah.
everyone's gonna be like, all right, he's the dad, he has his kid, like whatever. It's
Yeah.
my own business.
Yeah, so I'm sure there's gonna be a sequel because this
A
movie
threequel.
or well,
XK, I don't know.
yeah. So I'm pretty sure there's gonna be another one because I think the box office just came out today and it topped Frozen 2.
Oh, did it really?
And
For this week.
for this weekend,
Did
obviously.
it really?
But yeah, so and Frozen's been breaking records right now too. So like just because it did beat
But
it,
it is already on its third week though. Is Frozen
yeah,
on third
yeah,
week?
no, yeah. I'm not saying like obviously it's like whoa, like it shouldn't have. I mean, it's a new movie, so it should. But
Yeah.
I think the first one had a good box office, and this one's going to have a good box office. Sony's going to see it and be
I guess
like,
it depends on that. Yeah. If it
and
makes
it's
enough
getting
money,
good reviews again too. So it's
Is
not
it?
like it's
Nice.
bound
it's
to
60s,
like,
60s. Yeah, the last I think it's 65 right now.
yeah.
last one
And
was
I'm
70.
sure the audience
really?
rating is probably pretty high too. So
Whew.
yeah, so I don't doubt that there's gonna be another one,
Well,
and I don't think they would do that if they weren't planning on doing another one as
honestly
well.
though, my favorite one is still the first one, the original
Yeah.
one.
I
Oh,
do
yeah.
like the
The
first one.
original one's still my favorite one, mainly because
Oh,
it is in the real world.
You're talking about the original Jumanji. with
Yeah.
No,
Robin
yeah, the
Williams.
original Robin
Yeah.
Williams.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because I was younger and I just like was more like
Have you seen it
focused
recently?
into it. I remember it enough. I don't
Yeah.
have to rewatch
Yeah,
it.
we've seen it. We used to watch that movie over and over. We
Yeah.
would put it in, watch it,
No,
then
I-
restart it, watch it again.
Yeah, no, I
Watch it
loved
over
it.
again.
That movie's very clear to me, but maybe because the fact that I was such a young age when I saw it for the first time that I kind of like believed it more. I don't know if that makes sense. Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You believe things more, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that when you get older, you like you watch something kind of childish.
You see all these
you
plot,
see like
plot
oh
holes.
yeah,
and,
you're like this is for kids or whatever. But
I do remember it was scary though. The first
Okay,
one was scary. So these two are comedies, right?
yeah.
The first one I don't think was a comedy.
So
It was-
that's kind of what I'm getting at. Yeah, what I liked mainly about it was more grounded and it was more
Yeah. And
dark. It had darker moments that made me feel more scared for them.
Yeah.
Like the plants that are venomous, the
yeah.
tarantulas, there were some
monkeys.
there was some scary
Yeah.
stuff that felt scarier and more real.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel that at all in this one.
Yeah,
This was
because-
just funner.
Yeah, and I think that does go back to it being a video game because it just can break those like
Yeah.
limitations of like the real world. So if they do a third one, I think obviously that kind of like leads to it like having those more grounded expectations.
I don't think so though, because if you have a formula, like I think they're just gonna keep following it. It's
Yeah.
gonna still be silly and it's still gonna be.
Funny, yeah.
They're still gonna try to be funny. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's not like yeah, I don't know. I think it could go either way, but yeah. Yeah, the original one's still my favorite one, but I still really like these two.
And I don't see 8 characters. I don't see how to do
Yeah,
that.
that's a lot of
'Cause
people. That's why.
Not there's a lot of people because Avengers has more than that.
Well, yeah,
But
but we
it's
care about
mainly
those characters
because
more too.
I don't know how they would handle the video game characters because they're technically they don't have personalities. They're supposed to be. They're gonna be like robots.
Well,
Like
that's why they'll be their own their personalities that they're supposed to have. Brave and the zoologist and the map guy. That's
Yeah,
smart.
but that's not gonna be funny. That's what I'm saying. If they're just gonna be that serious map guy, he's not gonna be funny.
I think
It's
it will be funny.
it's funny because he's
could.
playing a girl. It's funny because they're playing other people. It's funny because he's playing a black guy. It's funny
Maybe they'll
because
do like a fish out of water kind of situation where like they're coming out to his world and like
I see like Blast from the Past.
yeah, blast from the past, you know, or just like like they're just acting a certain way and they
Oh,
don't know
like
how
they're
to
not
act
used
like
to
normal.
like technology. Like
Yeah.
they're not used to this world.
Sure,
Yeah,
they might
That
do
could be funny.
I think there's a way that they
Hmm.
could make it work still. I mean, it just comes down to like how creative they want to be with it too. Like if they want to just like repeat the same thing, it'll probably work, but you know, that's not what they want. Unless they have to go into the game to come out to take care of everything type of thing.
As they go into the game.
Yeah. Yeah, so they go back in so that they could be the
They
character
probably
so that
will.
they can
Yeah.
yeah, it's,
They might do
Honestly,
that.
nah, I'd rather not. I'm
Yeah.
over them being in the game.
Yeah.
Honestly. I really am over them being in the game.
Yeah.
I was kind of happy when I saw the ostriches outside. Like, figure it out.
Yeah.
I actually like the idea of
yeah.
the 4 characters maybe having their own. Like, The Rock could just be The Rock, I guess.
Yeah.
He's always just The Rock, anyways. But
Fight people out in the real
yeah,
world.
Yeah.
Just can't.
maybe
Maybe they
Kevin
just-
Hart's character can still be funny. Like, maybe that was his character.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be his character.
Yeah.
The other two could be more serious, but maybe there will be this element of they have no idea. Like, they see a car, like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't
They
know.
probably don't have their powers, like The Rock being super strong. He might not have that.
And
go out, try to fight someone, get his butt kicked,
and
you
the
know.
the villain from the original one kind of had a bit of a personality too, and that's technically a character from a board game. So you know, I think it could work, but yeah,
The villain from
Yeah, I guess.
the
yeah,
original
you're right.
Jumanji, the board game one.
Oh,
He's like the hunter guy.
you're talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
Robin Williams, Jumanji.
No,
Yeah,
yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right.
So
That was a good character.
yeah,
That
so
was, even that guy was like dark, you know, like
Yeah.
this guy's a real gun trying to shoot you.
Yeah.
Like
Hunt
if
them, yeah.
he's hunting this.
yeah, and there's only one life in the real world,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
That movie is
so you're limited from the jump.
I want to go back and watch that, man.
Yeah.
the
So let's go ahead and rank both of these movies, unless you guys have something else you want to talk about as far as let's go.
No.
I'm good with
Yeah.
ranking.
Yeah.
I got both
maybe
mine.
All right, I already know what I'm gonna rank both of
Yeah,
them.
me too.
don't
I
know.
knew mine before getting here. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't want to.
So I'll just start off. I'm gonna give these both the same rating
The same
because
rating?
I enjoyed them both equally.
Really?
Yeah, I've enjoyed different parts of them more,
Yeah.
but I think overall, I think I would give them both a 7 out of 10.
Ooh, that's a good one. Okay.
Yeah.
I will give the first one with The Rock a 7, and then the newer one that just came out, Next Level, a 6.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was gonna
Damn,
give
I
it
don't
like
know.
a 3.
Okay.
Just kidding.
I thought I would. I thought you would have liked them a lot more than me.
Oh,
so
me?
I thought you would like them way more than Alex, and I thought Alex liked them way more than me. So it feels weird that my rating is like pretty close to Alex's.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I like
Hmm.
the
I liked it. I didn't like it.
the first
That
one.
much.
The first one I saw on my laptop, and the second one I saw in theaters. But I still like the first one more.
Uh-huh.
So I wonder if I saw the first one in theaters with the crowd, like if it would have been that much funnier. You know, because I still laughed more in the first one too, even though I saw it by myself. You ever try laughing by yourself? It's not fun.
Oh my God.
But so I'm gonna give the first one a 6.5, and the second one a 5.5.
Jeez.
Ew.
That's
Damn.
close to you.
I
you
mean,
had you had your first one 7. I'm only 0.5 away from your first one.
Yeah.
And your second one is 6.5.
I
I'm
don't
only 1
think-
point away.
well,
I was gonna give it a 6, but I was like, you know what? No,
So-
I
so-
didn't like the second one as much. So I'm seeing.
all right, I guess.
Dude, I feel like
mean-
an asshole with you guys, dude. You
Yeah.
guys are always making
I,
me rage.
I
take it
really,
easy, Sal,
I
take it
mean,
easy.
these movies are fun. Like I enjoyed them.
Yeah.
Like
They're-
I would watch them again. Like not paid to watch them.
Right,
But
What did you rate Irishman?
me?
No.
5.
Oh.
Sal.
5.
5. So
So
you
you-
slightly liked it more than Irishman. And
Probably
then
liked
what
more
about The Godfather?
No, I think I rated The Godfather more than these two.
I think you give it a 7.
I might have given it a 7 or 6.5. I don't remember, but I can see it being around the one around the
First one.
ballpark as Jumanji 2, or the first Jumanji, or better.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, makes sense.
Interesting.
Well,
Well,
I was
that's-
surprised by that.
Yeah.
by those
I-
ratings
I'm
from
surprised
Sal.
you said 6.5.
The way that the way you were talking about
Yeah,
it, I
didn't
thought
seem
you
like
liked it a lot
5,
more.
Yeah.
I had a lot of problems with it too, though.
Yeah.
Well, but then, did you not hear
Yes.
me talking about how much more I like the original? And I wish that's
Mm,
really
yeah,
the,
yeah, yeah.
the
So that's your comparison basis.
That's my
like-
compare. Like
So
the
what would
whole
you
time I wanted to be like the first one.
humor me then? What would you rate the original one?
Probably 7.5.
See,
Ooh,
that
that's
doesn't
not
seem
even
like
that
way
high.
more. you
That's
know?
1
I
point higher.
would probably give that one more like an 8.
Yeah.
8.5,
Maybe
maybe.
maybe 8. Yeah, I can see.
Okay.
It
I
just-
mean,
I'm not
hey,
sure.
I don't know.
7.5, 8. We'll say 7.75.
See, I think if you would watch it again, you probably wouldn't like it as much because you have the whole old movie stigma thing
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You don't like
but
old
First of all,
movies.
you guys have agreed with me on that one a few times, but whatever.
I don't have a problem with old movies. I like old movies.
Okay, sure.
I mean, I like the original Star Wars movies, so
Speaking
Me
of Star
too.
Wars,
Me too. But
Yeah.
those are movies we saw when we were kids.
what are we
so
watching
It's just different.
for next episode? We gotta watch Star Wars, right? That comes out this
yeah, Rise of Skywalker.
week. Rise of Skywalker.
Did you get a ticket, Alex?
No, I haven't got a ticket.
There's honestly still spots.
Yeah,
I'm watching it Saturday at 11.
I'm watching it Thursday at 6.
11 p.m.
I have bad news for you guys.
What?
You're
I work next Sunday.
Me too, but I get off at 7. Sunday?
Yeah,
Who the hell works on Sunday?
I do because of Christmas week.
Wait, I
Wait,
work on Sunday
so-
too.
Well, what time do you guys get off?
I'm off at 7 though.
I mean, we could talk about this
I
after. It doesn't
am
matter.
off at 8. Yeah, we'll talk about this after. Well, we might get delayed.
Yeah, so
we might do an episode
might come out Tuesday
on
or something.
Tuesday, something like that. Yeah.
I'm off of school after Tuesday, so this Tuesday.
So Star Wars is our next movie that we're gonna
our
review.
next new movie.
And then what's our old movie? Have you guys thought about older movies or just?
We don't
movies you
have
wanna
to watch.
an older movie.
I think we should watch something that's like a little bit of a different genre.
I already have a good pick.
I think we should. Well, one of the ones that I kind of want to watch that I haven't watched yet is A Marriage Story.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
On
And I knew you were
Netflix?
gonna say it. Yeah, I was waiting for you to say it. I'm like, yep, he's thinking of
Yeah.
Marriage Story. You got it like halfway into that one, right? You
Saw the
haven't
whole
finished
thing.
it. You saw the whole thing?
Horrible.
Dude, shut up.
Just kidding. Nah,
Okay.
I haven't.
Yeah, let's do that one.
I saw like 10,
Let's do
yeah.
Marriage Story and Star Wars. I
Okay.
think that'd be fun.
And, I mean, Kylo
Oh, I
Ren is
mean,
both.
it's connected with.
Kylo Ren is the
I was gonna
best.
say
Adam
it's connected
Driver.
with Adam Driver, yeah.
That, or we could watch the other movie he's in that's on Amazon Prime. But
Oh,
that just came
I was
out.
watching that too. I
What
saw
is-
most of that.
what
The
is
no, I swear, the one where they torture people, right? The one
he's
where
like
he's
a
investigating.
lawyer or something. Yeah, I don't
He's
know exactly what
investigating
it was.
torture,
Yeah,
like
something
America
like-
torturing
Yeah.
like terrorists, I guess.
Oh, what?
Oh, yeah,
It's based on true story.
but it's
Sounds
supposed to look
interesting.
really good. But yeah,
It gets it's a little. Not violent, I guess, but a little like
Graphic?
not. Yeah, I guess
Doesn't matter.
graphic, not graphic, but yeah.
okay.
you know
So
what I mean.
Marriage
Damn, my ears are
Story,
so red.
Rise of Skywalker. Sounds like a plan.
All right.
Uh,
what we're
yeah.
the
So
books.
until next time, love you guys. Take care. See ya.
Bye.